Welcome back to Better or Worse Than Transformers. We take a movie or a TV show and tell you whether it's better or worse than the most mediocre movie ever made, Michael Bay's Transformers. This week we're coming to you with a special mini-sode about A Quiet Place because we all saw it and we all really liked it, but we're doing Marvel stuff. So here you go.
Yep.
I'm your host Joseph, with me our co-hosts Ian.
Hey, what's up, guys?
And Christian.
Hello.
Realistically, if you're downloading this, you probably already know this, but hey, we got to go through it. We don't have any news for you this week. We're really excited about this movie.
If you wanted news, check out the extravaganza.
Yeah, absolutely.
Phase 2 extravaganza. But A Quiet Place, kind of post-apocalyptic future. There's been an alien invasion. Involves this family who, you can't make noise. The aliens are hypersensitive to noise. Can't see or anything. They track their prey simply by what they hear. So there's a family who they have a deaf daughter, so they kind of have an advantage, and they all know sign language already, so they don't need to speak, and they learn how to survive in this new world. Directed by John Krasinski, starring his real-life wife, Emily Blunt. I don't know who the kids are. There's a young male actor, a young female actor, and I believe the actress actually is deaf.
She is.
But this movie is very good.
Mm-hmm.
What's funny to me is, and this movie's based on a lot. There's a lot of concepts, but when I first walked out, I was like, for a movie based on a gimmick, and that gimmick entirely being, like you talked about, the scariest parts of movies are the noises. So for a movie based on a gimmick in that, there's no noise in this movie. It's very silent for the most of it because they don't want to die. It works so well. Mm-hmm. To me, one thing that really stuck out that I haven't heard anybody talk about is the soundtrack. The little parts that have music are kind of in this like out of tune piano.
Oh yeah,
and the fact that it's like this farmhouse in the hills and this like horror movie, it worked so well. I was just sitting there, and there's like, normal life going on for these people, whatever that looks like, and you're hearing this kind of like out of tune piano playing, and I bought it. Like I thought it fit the tone of the movie so well. As a parent, it was
hang on,
hard to watch, but
hold your as a parent things for later. We'll get to that.
Yeah, I liked it. So y'all go.
No, it's fine. So yeah, let's start non-spoilers if we can for 100%. A little bit. But the movie starts with they don't give you the inciting incident. It starts I think on like day 47.
Yep. I loved that you didn't see what happened. There's no backstory really.
Yeah,
the whole movie takes place over 3 days. Yeah, there's one day and fast.
Well, yeah, but they're like separated.
Yeah,
they're not consecutive days.
Yeah,
and it's like near future kind of.
Yeah, no, like
it could be today.
Right, it could be. Yeah. It could be if an alien invasion happened today.
Yep.
But it essentially follows, like you said, this family who are essentially they can survive, or they've learned how to communicate because they already are all new sign language because of their deaf daughter. They're living in kind of a farmhouse, and they have like systems in place already for gathering their things and living their life in this new world where they have to be silent, be afraid of these creatures. Yeah, I don't think I can get any more into the plot without any other spoilers.
Just what did you think? General reaction.
I really liked it. I also expected it to be kind of gimmicky right out the get-go. But the thing that really drew me, I got really tied into like the family. Mm-hmm. And
they're so good together.
No, despite the fact that the kids look nothing like the parents. That bothered me a little bit at the beginning. I feel like what stuck out to me is even though I'm not a parent, I feel like I really identified with it from the perspective of John Krasinski and Emily Blunt's characters, as like they want to give their children's lives, like they want to have fun and be a family and whatever, even in these hard times. But they're also like constantly afraid for their survival. Yep, they're like their own survival, but especially the survival of their children, and that really resonated. And just the fact that it's silent and everything is sound is deadly already makes the movie tense. I think the knowledge of how those parents feel and coming at it from their perspective just makes it even more tense.
I mean, it's definitely an intensified version, but as a parent, you kind of live life thinking, I want to give my child freedom to do things that they want and enjoy, but I also want to keep them safe. And it's a tough balance. And of course, again, I don't have to deal with aliens that are going to hunt them if they cough. You know what I mean? But I think that's really at the heart of that movie is how do you balance that as a parent? And it's just really well made. Ian, what did you think?
Yeah, I liked it a lot. I thought John Krasinski's really good as a dad. He put on some muscle for sure.
For sure.
And a beard. He looks cool. Emily Blunt also as she's playing a pregnant mom in the role, and that some of the scenes she goes through, I think she did really well with it. And then the two kids, they're both fine.
I thought they were very good. Like you talking about, did we figure out the formula for child actors? These kids are really good.
They are really good.
If this was the way I thought, it was wow, it'd be really hard to survive, and they'd all be dead. You can't make even a drop in a glass gets you killed. I'd give up probably if I was them.
God bless them if anybody had like a nightmare.
Well, yeah, right.
And why would you have a baby after this happened? That doesn't make much sense to me.
Right.
Baby's gonna cry.
Life's got to. You have to figure out a way for life to carry on.
Yeah,
like you have to.
Yeah.
But I think one thing this movie it seems minor, but is really smart, is because it picks up on like day 47. Mm-hmm. If you were going, if there was something that was going to keep you from surviving, you snore horribly at night. You're already gone by this point.
No, and that is smart because it's kind of establishing a world where all the people who are going to survive are already surviving.
Correct.
Yeah. Right.
And there's a surprising amount. You don't see them in the movie. You just kind of see the flames or whatever. But
and that's one of the things, without getting into spoilers, that I really like is there's a lot of they make a lot of nods toward things that they don't like explicitly explain, and they just trust you to like, oh, I understand.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And I think this movie does a really good job of trusting its audience that way, and I really like that about it.
Yeah, I like when a movie trusts me to be somewhat intelligent.
I know, right? It's refreshing.
It does that, but then it also focuses on weakness on the whiteboard.
Oh yeah, no, that's a super fair complaint. And I'll tell you,
like at one point it was like she checked her hearing and then looked at the weakness.
That's a fair rebuttal. I'm not going to argue with that.
I think though that the monsters look cool.
The monsters
are
being
cool.
a low.
I heard they changed it like 3 months ago or something.
Really?
Yeah.
So he completely redesigned it.
Yeah, they look kind of like bat spiders.
They look like the Demogorgon is what they look like.
Yeah, that's a good. That's Stranger
Things.
Yeah. And that wasn't a problem. That's not a diss. That's just what I thought of when I saw it.
And I thought they kind of like reminded me, like they had attributes. I thought I they didn't say this, but like to me it looked like they were like kind of like dogs in that they were like wild. I didn't think they were very smart.
Yeah.
And they were just reactionary to hearing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And they were just like, and they weren't eating the people. So like,
it was kind of unclear
what was happening with them. I think I saw an interview where someone asked him about like their origins or something, and he said he always kind of envisioned it, instead of him being like an intelligent species, it's just that wherever they came from, like the way evolution affected them, it made them impervious to a lot of things. And so when their world or whatever was destroyed, basically now these things are just like riding on meteors through the universe, and like one crashes on Earth.
Yep.
And so now these like new kind of creatures are here, and we don't know how to. And I buy that. Like, that's fine. Sure. Alien invasion doesn't always have to be super hyper intelligent beings coming to Earth.
I thought the scene where she's giving birth and steps on a nail and like has to be quiet was like really cool.
Yeah.
Well, should we just go ahead and go into spoilers?
I'll say one other thing I want to say before we get into spoilers is I'd say like for the first 10 minutes of this movie, I got really focused on like the plot holes and like the way that this universe didn't make sense. Mm-hmm. But then once I got invested in the story, invested in like the family, then like it didn't bother me again once in the movie because I just want them to survive, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I think that's just a testament to the fact that it's a good story, that it just draws you in like that. But
I want John Krasinski to be more in things.
Agreed.
I
do too.
Bail, you want to do spoilers?
Yeah, let's jump into spoilers.
Let's jump into spoilers. So yeah, that scene is. I hated it. It's good movie. I mean, it's good movie making. But like when they do the nail, I'm like, oh no. When they reveal like the nail sticking out of the stairs,
that's going to be the thing.
Yep,
when it happens. Yeah,
I mean it is a trope.
It's
well set up, but it's also like, oh come on, I don't want this to happen.
Speaking of tropes, and I realize this is jumping to the very end, but the cock and the shotgun moment, I loved it.
It's great.
I thought it was great. It reminded me of like Terminator.
I'll tell you what, they're writing the second one right now. Like that movie's definitely.
I don't know that John Krasinski and Emily Blunt would come back.
Yeah. No, not that, but that concept, that world. Definitely
going to do more.
I like that. That's where they end it. You know, they cut it.
It's a cool ending. Yeah,
it's a cool ending
because it's open ended a little bit, but it's a good cutoff.
Well, it tells you all you need to know.
Yes. Yep.
That's a good way to put it.
Which again is why I think this
that's a good point.
So while we're talking about things where again they trust your audience, they tell you they don't like over explain things to you besides the weaknesses thing. The way you find out that there are other survivors, besides the fact that you do see see one in the course of it, but at dusk every night, John Krasinski goes up to the top of like a water tower nearby and lights a fire, and then like as he's lighting it, you see fires in the distance of other people. Mm-hmm. And I thought that was a really cool thing because, again, it communicates so much with so little.
Yeah,
and they never talk about it again.
Very Lord of the Rings.
It is very Lord of the Rings.
Rohan needs our help. No, it is actually a really smart way to show that there are more people out there without having to introduce them into the story. The scene with John Krasinski and his son in the waterfall, I think that's a perfect embodiment of kind of what you were talking about. Like they want to have them, give them the opportunity to have fun and be kids. but how do you do it in that world? And then bringing the whole like waterfall thing back, and that's how they protect the sound of the child and the running water and stuff like that. I thought was intelligent. It moves very fast. You know,
it's 90 minutes.
It's only 90 minutes.
I like that about it.
But it works.
Yeah.
Normally, I prefer longer movies, but you know everything you need to know about these characters. You know everything you need to know about the world and the villain, and you don't need more.
The world's cool, and also like the farmhouse setting.
Yeah, I do
with
too.
Like the firework traps and like the water tower and the grain. Like there's a lot of cool.
I'm not sure
set pieces they go through.
I'm not sure it's the most practical if you're like hiding out from these monsters that can, like you can't see anything. I mean, they have cameras and stuff, but there's a lot of
there's food and stuff like that.
Yeah, no, I get it, but trade offs.
You know, when you're living in an apartment building, what are you gonna?
Yeah, no, that's fair. The other thing that I thought was a good trusting the audience is the basic premise as a whole, in that because they have a deaf daughter, they already knew sign language, and again, they don't address that, they don't explain that. That's just like left to you to figure out. Like, oh, that's why they've been able to survive because they already knew how to communicate.
I love when the movie goes to her perspective.
Oh, me too.
And you hear where.
Well, I like it because they do that from the very first scene. And I noticed it because even though it's like silent, it's, you hear a little bit of ambient noise even when it's really quiet. But then when it's shot like directly on her, it's not. And I was like, is that a thing? Does that mean she's deaf? And then you see the hearing aid a little bit later. But it's very clever. It's very smartly directed and written. And it's a lot better than I feel like it should be.
Killing a 4-year-old boy 5 minutes into a movie is a brave decision.
It sure was. Oh God! Even though
that kid was stupid.
That's exactly
he's 4.
I know. I was so torn because I had the same reaction because I was like, I saw him get the bag. I was like, he deserves to die. And then I'm like, I know he's 4, but he deserves to die.
My kid turns 3 in 4 months. Like the moment the movie was over, I got home and I was like, Austin, where are you? I need to see my son. I need to see my little boy. Like I had to like. That it was hard.
But the look on John Krasinski's face when he hears the God,
he knew immediately.
Yeah,
he knew his son was dead in that moment. Like, oh man, it's tough.
It was so tough. And again, I don't even have kids.
Screen. Hard. It's hard. My one you talk about maybe like plot holes in the movie.
Yeah.
Emily Blunt gets out of a lot of very sticky situations, or two very sticky situations in this movie that I just pure timing.
100% timing.
Save her. But also, you're not giving birth to a kid in the bathtub with that monster thing standing over you and you're surviving it. You know what I mean? Like, in regards to that world.
They got far-fetched.
That is not going to happen. She acts it really well.
She does.
I've witnessed birth of children and she does a very good job. But yeah, I could not buy it in that moment. I thought the fireworks were a clever distraction, but I'm just like, she would have died.
They should have had more firework, like more sound kind of thing.
Yeah, well, I mean, again,
and the kid getting away because he gets knocked out. I mean, all of that.
I would have been prepped with like some metal pans or some shit. You know what I mean?
Oh, 100%. The use of ouder noises as a distraction is not utilized nearly enough in this movie.
Yeah, I think they could have done more creative stuff with that. Like turn it into like a Home Alone kind of. Put some traps.
Oh, they probably could have.
Yeah, it's a very cool survival mechanism.
Yeah.
I can make noise as long as there's a louder noise. I'm okay. But like you said, if you know that, why don't you use it more than you do? Like set up like an alarm. You have all this technology. You have these things go around your house, your cameras. Set up some more alarms.
Also, minor complaint. All those strung lights, all of them were on and working, and I'm like, that is not how string lights work.
Also, like there's a lot. Who's working the power plant right now?
That's also a good point.
Yeah, that was my one.
They're on a farm. You could argue that there are solar panels we didn't see.
Generators.
Yeah, I guess so. The generators making noise.
Yeah, generators are a problem.
That was my one, like I couldn't really get over it. Like,
I would have had a bunch of cars just all over the place, and just like
I thought the car thing was really smart because when the kid was just sitting in the driver's seat, I took it as like, oh, he's thinking of the world he's never going to have.
Yeah, that's what I thought too.
But he was practicing.
God, it is a really smart movie.
That's a smart thing to do. Yeah, I thought that was. I really dug that, but. I really, really like this movie.
I really liked it too, and one of the things that I didn't come up with this. I wish I had. This should have been Cloverfield 3.
Oh yes,
like definitely. This is exactly what we're talking about. Where it's an alien invasion, but it's not at all focused on the aliens or how they got to be. Like none of that is important. It's a survival story.
Yep.
And you're right. It would have been perfect.
And it's exactly what this is. It's perfect for that. And again, it's as not a parent, it's hard for me to watch.
Yeah.
And I can only imagine that if you have kids, it makes you super terrified.
A little gut wrenching. I was
as a father.
As a
father. I was talking with somebody today, and they were talking about like the mistakes the deaf girl makes throughout the movie, and without her, like would it have been as many problems? And
the deaf girl is stupid.
Well, here's the thing: she never can fully understand the consequences of her actions. In that, like, she doesn't know the amount of noise she makes or somebody else can make. Like, she doesn't. That's just a piece of knowledge. It's not like her world is going from loud to quiet. Her world's always been quiet. And so her bias or her perception of the world around her is definitely tainted by that. So, you can be like, well, it's not fair or that she keeps making all these mistakes or anything like that. But it makes sense to me why maybe a deaf person, even though they have an advantage in that they already know sign language and they don't have to talk and all that, why they may have a serious disadvantage in a world where sound is so important.
Absolutely.
So I don't know that I necessarily saw that complaint. I heard someone say it to me. It didn't bug me at all. I got it.
I have not heard that one at all.
Yeah.
But
she does just kind of lay on the grave that one while her mom's getting attacked.
But she doesn't know.
Yeah, no, yeah. No, that's why people are saying that, but I agree with what he's saying.
And
I think she acted as she should.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think she acted out like stupid or out of character.
Also, again, that's the scene where the kid dies is really good. There's another great reaction moment after John Krasinski's reaction where she sees other people reacting, and because she can't hear the noise,
she doesn't know,
and so like to see it dawn on her that something's really wrong is also like. I don't know. There's just a lot of really great small moments like that really...
I thought when he said rockets to the kid...
Yeah.
Or when he said rocket or whatever, I was like, that kid's going to go looking for that rocket.
That's what I thought, too.
And it's not going to be there.
Yeah.
But, I don't know. Maybe if I were writing the movie, that's what I would have done. But,
it's crazy. Yeah, so he had to have his son died, and he couldn't even scream.
yeah, well, Emily Blunt covers her mouth.
That's what I mean. Like,
but the fact they all blame themselves, like her bit where she's like, I could have carried him. And of course, the little girl, and basically the only one is the sick kid who, he was sick. And if he wasn't sick, would they have had they gone?
That kid is not making it, though, in this world.
Yeah,
there's the one who's scared to go to the waterfall. Like,
well, he's like a 7 or 8 year old boy.
What I mean, within the next 3 months, like, I wouldn't wait.
No, they got an answer now. They know how to kill those things.
Maybe they'll shoot them all dead.
They definitely shoot the other two.
Yeah,
but
there was more than 2.
Well, there's the 3 in the area.
Yeah,
That's what on the whiteboard.
Yeah, on the whiteboard. That was another thing.
Above weaknesses. And above all the expositional news articles.
Yeah.
And they said that, I guess, one of the ones I read is they had a meteor crash in Mexico. So that's where the initial...
Yeah, there's no official, like...
That's one of the newspapers said, so that's what...
Oh, does it? Okay.
Yeah, on one of the exposition things.
Okay, I got it. I didn't see that.
But that's just...
So minor.
Could have been whatever.
Well, and that's the other thing about the deaf girl is she keeps turning a thing off, the hearing aid off, and obviously you as the audience member know that the thing keeps creeping up on her, and every time it gets so close, and there's the feedback that she doesn't
know that. She doesn't see it.
know it. So it's again perfectly believable why she would turn it off and it not have that effect.
I know that was also painful for me as a viewer
because you're like.
Well, because
right there,
right? Because it's so close, but 2 because like you said, she doesn't understand the cause and effect relationship there, and you're just like, if you could just saw, we could solve this.
Jim would not have to die.
I know. Oh yeah. Oh,
his whole sign like "I love you" to her, oh man, that was great.
We talked about this before, and I was kind of on board, but now I'm super on board. He is so believable as like a badass, especially in this situation. He very much comes off as like, he was probably just a normal guy, but he can rise to this occasion out of desperation.
100%. Yep. That's what I saw too.
And he kills it. Like I 100% buy it.
I want him in everything.
Yeah, no, I completely buy him as going into that leading role. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that Chris Pratt made that jump. Like I could see him doing that.
Well,
become an A-list movie star.
Oh, he for sure can. He has the talent to do it,
and he's handsome.
The what you're talking about though is he does kind of play this character so well in that you don't see what he was like beforehand. But he probably was just like a normal average dude. He may not have been very talkative, but he probably wasn't like some super survival expert.
Right.
But something about John Krasinski that you just believe that like when shit hits the fan, he can turn it on, and he's gonna do everything he can to save his family. And honestly, it could have been for me. It could have been he could have been Jim, normal Monday through Friday,
100%.
Yeah.
And then this horrible thing happens, and he he becomes this other guy.
Yeah.
Who survives it and goes through it, and I really dug it.
It makes me want to watch that Jack Ryan show with him.
I can't wait for it.
I'm kind of curious now.
Yeah.
You got a great compliment the other day.
Yeah. I'm growing out my beard, and a customer said I looked like John Kay from A Quiet Place. That made my day. I was like, thank you.
His beard in that movie is like, it's a
so good.
It's a mountain man beard.
Yeah, it's legit.
It's a real beard.
It's my favorite movie beard in a long time.
He said he was on like Jimmy Fallon and he shaved it off after the movie, and his daughter was like, can you get your beard back, please?
Yeah, I totally give him Fantastic Four. Him and Emily Blunt.
I
like those two together.
Sure.
Yep. Better than Transformers.
Way better than Transformers. Had a great time with it. The more I think about it, the more I like it.
Yeah, I did too. It was
really
very
enjoyed
well
it. Like I said, it's a good, quick movie to just enjoy. You know, I like that it's short.
I don't want to. I'm certainly not jumping the gun and saying like I think it's Oscar bait or anything like that. But it's a very well made.
It is. It is very well made.
Yeah, it's very well acted, and you know, I don't know why all of a sudden people have figured out how to make good horror movies that happen to also be good movies. Right. I'm glad it's here. Like, I'm glad we have really well made horror movies right now. And it's not. I mean, it's not that scary. It's not necessarily horror, but.
And as you mentioned, it's surprisingly not gory or
it's not
really violent.
It's much more suspenseful.
Yeah,
you know
a lot of suspense.
And I like that about it.
Well, a lot of horror movies, and I, this is not to be like, you know, the prude in me or whatever, but a lot of horror movies kind of bank on that adult factor.
Oh yeah, no, they lean into the R.
But this movie doesn't, and it doesn't hurt from it. You know, there's no profanity, there's no like sex or nudity, or there's not a lot of gore, and that doesn't hurt the movie.
No,
at all.
it's a very simple story. It's 100% based off of like it's fear of these creatures and like, you know, the love of this family trying to stay together, and those things kind of at odds, and that's it. There's nothing else to this movie, and I think it's stronger for it.
Yep.
I think what you said, it's the characters work. That's what makes the movie work ultimately. Because you're right, I like the characters too. And horror movies are usually just like stereotypical.
A lot of times you hate the people in horror movies.
Yeah, they have no depth.
Fine,
you know
if
what I mean?
die.
But you're right. Like I could totally see him. He was like maybe like an engineer or something, or just a normal job. And he was just smart enough to figure this shit out and how to survive. You know what I mean?
Luck of the draw, man. Well, again, they already knew sign language and all that stuff. I mean, it's very good.
It's very good.
Go see A Quiet Place.
Go see A Quiet Place.
Please.
Sometime before.
There's only everything else is garbage. Trust me. Go see A Quiet Place.
Yeah.
Well, we haven't seen Rampage yet.
Rampage might be even better.
But yeah,
that's it.
Hope you guys enjoy the mini episode.
Yeah, thanks for the mini episode. And if you like it, subscribe, tell a friend, blah blah blah. You can reach us at betterthantransformers@gmail.com. If you find any other plot holes or things you wanted to tell us about The Quiet Place, you can also reach us at BT Transformers on Twitter and at BT Transformers on Facebook. And yeah, that's it. We'll catch you guys next week. Thanks.
Have a good week. Bye.